Okay. So, for today's stream, part 3 of Rainbow Six Extraction, we are gonna go. Well, I'm gonna quickly check the Twitter first and see if there's any updates. It's been a few days since launch now. I've not played it for a couple days.
TikTok.
And see if there's any updates on their Twitter. Oh, last couple days. They put out like a new codex entry on their Twitter. I don't know. I assume that'll just end up being in the game. But a Soyuz capsule. It's quite cool. A shill for Ubisoft Plus. $15 a month. Don't know. It's quite worth it. It's quite expensive actually. Little thing about Archaeans. Ubisoft supports Discord is a thing now. Little video about one of the mission objectives, and yeah, that's absolutely it. Nothing today. Alright, next thing we're gonna do is we're going to last time I played quite a bit, unlocked some stuff, you know, got up to Milestone 6.
We're learning so much from incursions about how our gear performs in hot zones. That's helped us design a few things that will be useful.
Fucking hell. To check, just stuff to check that all the knocks and shit. And new stuff to read, for example. And we didn't quite finish off reading this stuff either, so we're gonna get to that as well. See if I've unlocked some stuff here as well from studies and that. So let's go back to React and see what we didn't read yet. And there's one here about React recruiting. It's quite a cool little view from inside the Pioneer. You can see outside into the city there. We've got military guys, we've got Thermite, we've got Mira. React personnel reflect highest percentile recruits from various backgrounds, universities, agencies, special forces, think tanks, etc. Top specialists in respective fields. Computational psychometric evaluations favour non-rigid and non-linear thinking outside the box. Personnel is resistant to extreme psychological and psychosocial stress factors affecting coordinated behaviour. Evaluation selects a combination of professional distinction and interpersonal flexibility. Supports the use of collaborative problem solving, necessity for successful mission, imperative. Selected evaluative phrases: adventurous spirit, knowing the unnecessary. Knowing the unknown, explorer at heart, undefined. Posit non-invasive study of rostrolateral prefrontal cortex in selected personnel for further study. Insert mirror. No need to probe their brains. Will stick to the psychological assessment index. Essay of studies into expeditionary psychology indicates that even exemplary members may bury emotions out of fear of burdening teams. Suggest regular assessment for all personnel. Insert ash. None of us are immune to stress. All personnel will have periodic evals. Of course, of course. Then this one, research our
Idiota. Move, you're in my light. Elisa. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
Hey, my fault. I just wanted to see how R&D is doing.
Not bad. Good, actually. check this out. I couldn't figure out why it kept overheating. Then an operator came back with data on how El Parásito dissipates high thermal loads, and boom, the solution. Yes, the parasite is horrible, but it's also a scientific gold mine. Everything we learn makes our tech better.
Elena, keep making great stuff like this, and I promise to keep out of your light.
Pretty sure they make Ash fitter in every new cutscene. Might just be me though, to be fair. React's research and development branch is based on the pioneer and headed by Dr. Elena Maria Mira Alvarez, responsible for the development of innovations necessary for the successful completion and continuation of operations. Chimera refers to instruments and equipment specific to incursion into environments overrun by the parasite. Purpose statement R&D. It is a multidisciplinary branch that has oversight on various internal sub-branches, including engineering, technology, robotics, AI systems, science and medical, works in close conjunction with external partners on developmental projects. DARPA, NASA, REU. Assessing role within React organization, R&D branch exemplifies React's mandate, containment of exogenous organisms for study and advancement of knowledge, speculating on collaborations, partnership with external agencies, drives innovations, also yields real-world applications. Probability, high. Now, I don't remember reading about this one, UV light. Broad spectrum portable light source developed by R&D labs for field incursions used by operators to stimulate bioluminescence and biofluorescence in arcadians. Stimulated light emission is a relatively recent adaptation in chimera organism. Evidence behavior was not reported in previous contacts. Assessing emergence of bioluminescent behavior, sample study of photoreactive chimera cells revealed genetic similarities to various abyssopelagic species found on Earth. Deep water organisms, Medusozoan and Cephalopoda, other IQ, implying recent contact. If chimeras propagated by sea were a big problem, thinking they're due to other oil platforms. Speculating on rate of adaptation, recent development of photoreactive cell supports evidence of rapid evolutionary capabilities of chimera organism requires more data. Reactive relight enables a detection of arcane variants through obstructions and detection of structural weak points in environment. Cross-reference analysis of chimera permeation in infrastructure, net tactical advantage high. Enables detection of arcane weak points, kill zones and armored areas, carapace on variants, net engagement advantage high. And all the rest we have read about React. Very cool. Now we also unlocked a few new operators. So the last we read about was Lion and Vigil. So next we have Rook. Julien Lizan from France, GN, Operations and Logistics and Communications. And there's Rook in his React gear. According to his React screening interview, Nizan is energized about meeting this new challenge, Chimera, and eager to discover what this thing, Chimera, can do, impulsive and confidence. Nizan displays impressive versatility and sense of adventure. Cross-reference personnel record, fencing, track and field, architecture, cycling, auto racing. That diverse range of pursuits may make him seem unfocused, but he's a meticulous planner in the field. A recent psychological evaluation points out that his optimism springs from authentic trust in his capabilities and that of the other operators. Bounded optimism. Assessing marksmanship skills and physical ability. Grade exceptional. Nizan's skill set will be an asset to the React squad. J Trace, no doubt about that, looks solid. Speculating on Nizan's effect on team dynamics, self-described optimist and free thinker who will be beneficial to the React team in high-stress situations. Cross-reference self-assessment, Nizan Juliet. Expanding on Nizan's interest in chimera abilities. Nizan has access research on chimera carapace, specifying anti-ballistic properties, suggest coordination with R&D engineering branch. We then unlocked Jaeger, Marius Striker from Germany, the GSC G9 Engineering Operations and Logistics. Looks like this, really cool little helmet. Extraction. Striker witnessed the devastation of truth or consequences firsthand in Operation Outbreak. Here's another one, Outbreak. Here's another one to be played in the Outbreak mode in Siege. Volunteered immediately when reactors formed. Cross-reference after action reports / Outbreak. Striker's helicopter crashed during the New Mexico event, resulting in minor injuries. Screened for post-traumatic stress by reactor support. Negative, cleared for active duty. Excerpt from psychological assessment. Striker's tendency to misread social cues has caused some short-lived friction, but he has made strong connections with the team and sees them as his family. Surrogate. Highly creative, apt, curious about complex machinery, fascinated by robotics and artificial intelligence. Cross-reference. Request for index access to get a look under the hood. Speculating on Striker's fascination with the Chimera may be related to his fascination for figuring out how things work. The Chimera is a singular organism, but he sees it just as a complex system. A challenge validated with psychological assessment. Accessing Striker's abilities, unanimously regarded as gifted mechanical engineer, mechanical designer, will be an invaluable asset to reactor research. Career special intelligence plus intuition. HFA ASD. Oh crap! It's mad how much I can relate to some of these people. I think Jaeger, I kind of relate to. Either I think that's a high function autism and that's autistic spectrum disorder. Crazy. Okay, let's have a look at IQ as well. Monica Weiss, Germany, GSG 9. Research and development. Weiss is energized by challenging herself both physically and mentally. She sees React as the ultimate challenge of her abilities, a challenge to surpass herself. Weiss can become highly focused when faced with a particularly interesting challenge, but is also described as widely creative. She's been described as someone intent on finding order in chaos. Weiss is an overachiever in everything she attempts, polymath. Extensive knowledge of experimental electrical engineering and microelectronics will benefit the mission. Weiss's creative approach to finding patterns in a chaotic system combined with her intense energy will make her invaluable in studying the Chimera. Attending psych evaluator, absolutely, but it must be harnessed. Fair play. So only 6 more upgrades to unlock before they start bringing out new ones as well. Alright, before we read these last 3, which we didn't last time, there's a couple of things we need to go through.
The problem will only get worse if we don't act. So we do what we must.
So, Dark hit level 3. And as you can see, when he hits level 3, we unlock his MP5 and the revolver. Okay, so we get an arsenal update at level 3. So we can go into here and select the MP5, which is pretty cool. Definitely want to be using that instead. I would suggest I don't know how that might look, the 2.5 times scope. Try the 1.5 times scope in this for now. I'm not sure how that might look otherwise. Keep the suppressor on and we'll put on. Okay, I don't know when I unlocked that, we'll find out in a minute, but I don't really like it, so I think I'm going to stick with the GM for now. Until we unlock some others. Same with these charms, we unlocked targeted and dice. I quite like the dice charm actually. I think I'm going to put the dice charm on. Sure now. That's kind of cool. And we unlocked obviously his other handgun, which I'll just customise to the crack. But I'm probably going to keep that one equipped to the P9. With Ella?
No one can prepare for chaos. Just have to know how to survive it.
There shouldn't be anything new with anyone else, I think. Yeah. I was gonna pop to... Well, I mean, you just see what everyone got for reaching level 2. So Ella got stun duration increased to 10 seconds.
Brief me en route and I'll get it done.
Detection range increased to 40 meters. It's nice.
Stakes are high. I'm ready to go all in.
decoy count increased to 3, so now I've got 3 rather than only the 2. And I was gonna go, I think it was alibi that wants to take the angle grip off. It wasn't quite working for me.
Tough road ahead, but I'm ready to jump in.
Thinker, level 2, affected teammates, gain more health boost, cooldown reduced to 60 seconds.
I got something that will blow these Achaeans away.
Not leveled up yet. Same here, same here.
I make my presence felt, even when out of sight.
Visual cooldown reduced 20 seconds, disrupted enemies become scanned. And
one of my better tactical strategies is to stay alive. So far, so good.
Not quite there with Jaeger. Or
You can trust me to help protect lives.
or Rook. Rook we do have. Rook and VIPs have an armor plate applied by default. VIPs. Interesting. Plus H tar. Now we do need to
Give
go
me
with
the
these final
brief.
3 people.
I figure out the rest as I go.
You get the Org on IQ first, so that's pretty cool. Suppressor. Gene and Dice. And you get the P12. On Jaeger. Oh wait, did I even put anything on? So IQ's default is this like white helmet, which is quite cool. She's also got chalk, which is a black helmet, it's quite nice as well. Night shift, with like a yellow visor, phantom sight, we know what that looks like. It actually looks kind of decent, so on there. And the Rubicon one is the classic red one, so we're going with that one on everyone at the moment. Again, like quite a white default issued one there. More reacty one for chalk. Night shift is kind of cool. It does go with the helmet as well. Phantom sight and the Rubicon phase. To be fair, night shift is almost better. Jaeger. Same stuff. You see his eyes in that one, it's quite like that. Yeah, it's better. Rook. Same stuff. But his default is a bit more, you know, whatever. Yeah, good stuff. On the P90. That's good. And he has the revolver by default, which is interesting. Cool. The next thing, alright, let's go back now and we will continue this, reading this stuff before we unlock any others. Okay, because they unlock in these 3 unlock in milestones. These unlock also milestones. These unlock by doing certain things in New York and San Francisco, and then also milestones. These unlock by certain missions and same here. So, protocols.
All React departments enact incursion protocols for the safety of our personnel. Concentrated areas of parasite activity are called hot zones. React has contained the area within 3 subzones separated by airlocks. Operators are deployed to the safest area to complete objectives and gather intel. Parasite activity increases after each airlock. In line with React's directive to limit threat propagation, operators can exfil at any time at the available extraction point to report new intel to R&D. However, the further you go on an incursion, the better the intel. The parasite ecosystem is sensitive to intrusions. At a certain threshold, it unleashes a massive Archean attack to eliminate the threat. The safety protocol is in effect when it's too risky to send for an extraction platform. Exfil before it's too late. Operators who fail to exfil or are left behind for any reason are considered MIA. A stasis device is activated on MIAs to protect them from the parasite. The next squad deployed to the same hot zone can attempt a rescue. React will do what it takes to bring our people home.
Not sure why that crashed halfway through the video, but seems alright. So that's what happens when you run out of time, I guess. Then massive Archean invasion. So that's pretty cool. Well, not really. So incursions. Object-specific operator-led sorties into chimera-infested environments necessary to advance and complete study of the organism. Chimera activity phase high necessitates strict adherence to procedures to ensure safety. Incursions occur after scientific observational forays conducted by React scientists and researchers. Objective installation, monitoring, and data gathering equipment. Chimera activity phase low. Environment is sectioned into 3 subzones by unidirectional airlocks. 1 to 3 operators will insert and progress through the subzones. Each subzone has mission-specific objectives to achieve. Objective completion is not necessary for progress to subsequent zone. Unidirectional airlock prevents backtracking. Query operator discretion. Assessing increasing in-camera activity throughout an incursion implies possible preparation of threat response across subzones. Mirror, good point. We should investigate the possibility of some communication through the sprawl itself. Validation of incursion risk versus reward. Study of chimera behavior specific to our active phase is necessary to understand the role of Archean variants in organism ecosystem. Probability high. Insertion. As you can see, we're getting dropped into the zone by a cool little React helicopter. This is New York. Procedural guidelines sections R17018, R17018. Operators are flown via helicopter from the Pioneer to a landing zone within the Chimera biome. React insertion. All operators must be medically cleared for deployment and have undergone pre-incursion briefing, standard operating procedure. Equipment and biometric sensors are subjected to a systems check before boarding transport. The React insertion point will release clouded biologically inert nanoparticulate prior to operators' insertion. Landing zone should be clear of Archeans. Expect Archean activity in subsequent subzones to increase. Operators must abide by strict time limit within Chimera-infested environments to avoid variant swarming. Query defense response. Cross-reference hot zone emergency protocol. Extraction protocol. See the helicopter's going back for us. We've got some sort of rocket there, which to be fair does look a little bit like a Soyuz, which is what they were talking about, except apart from the markings. Extraction from chimera-infested environments can only be completed at extraction point placed within each subzone by React operators and logistics. Operations and logistics, part of pre-operation infrastructure installations, containment protocols. Designated areas identified an extraction pod and a React extraction net. Collapsible platform. The extraction net is composed of interlocking plates of high tensile polyfiber composites. Each plate can emit a cloud of nanoparticles that render chimera cells inert. Protocols for extraction ensure the safety of operators and prevent the spread of infectious material beyond the containment zone. Pioneer/secondary decontamination protocols. So the procedural guidelines, sections E221 to E240. The extraction may be requested at any time during an incursion. Operators must call for extraction using the extraction pod biometric scanner. All operators must stand on the extraction net to await extraction platform. Insert Jaeger. It's a helicopter. Why the fancy words? Stand by. Extraction net and personnel will be sterilised with bio-inert nanoparticulates. All operators must stand on the extraction net when platforms arrive. Platform arrives or will be considered missing in action. MIA protocol. React phone. Extraction pods. It's just like that. So we put the guys in. They just look like a much nicer environment than one I've met yet. Extraction pods are BSL-4+ rated primary containment chambers for the isolation of biohazardous material, similar in design to deep submersion chambers, rigid shell pressure vessels, bathyscaphe. Can provide breathable atmosphere for multiple occupants via its integrated life support system. Contains necessary levels of oxygen as well as engineered anti-chimera nanoparticulates, react foam and airlocks. May be adapted to dispense various equipment and react devices necessary for completion of operational protocols or objectives. Shut down react canisters. Guidelines. Operators may initiate extraction via extraction pods located in each subzone. This can be initiated at any time. Extraction pods are necessary for the safety of operators and other team members. Incapacitated personnel must be loaded into the pod and extracted by helicopter. Exterior sterilization procedures must be followed on return to Pioneer. Human occupants undergo full medical scan and psychological assessment, followed by debrief. Arcane specimens are transferred to laboratory sectors FL. Procedural guidelines section R110 to R350. Hot zone emergency. Damn, they had coming for us. Their heads look a bit like the silence from Doctor Who. Do you know what I mean? Studies have shown that incursions of extended duration into Chimera-infested environment will activate a swarm event. Thermite. There's no stand up to that flood, you've got to know when to retreat. Environmental transition to swarm event cannot be interrupted. Operators must extract or exit the subzone. Extraction protocol, airlock protocol. Subzone status is closely monitored. Buffer countdown to swarm transition will be communicated to operators with enough time to clear the subzone. Operators who cannot leave the area in time are considered missing in action. React foam safety measures will be triggered. MIA protocol. Chimera reaction to extended incursion resembles acute biological response to a harmful stimulus. Inflammatory response. Insert doc. Interesting theory. We should investigate possibly a mediated chemical or signal triggers this reaction. Interesting. Then there's the airlock. Airlock modules have been installed within Chimera-infested biomes to separate subzones and facilitate study of the organism. Operations and logistics, mission infrastructure, airlock labs. Proper procedural use of airlocks allows the safe passage of operators and other personnel from one area to the next. So the guidelines, sections A003 to A010. Initiate airlock cycle using biometric scanner, may be used by multiple operators. Standby. Access area will be sterilized with bio-inert nanoparticulate spray. Enter airlock module once door opens. All operators must be within airlock module before the initiation completion. Or will be considered missing in action. MIA protocol, react foam. Airlock cycle is complete when doors open. Door opens to the next subzone. Previous subzone is no longer accessible because it's unidirectional. Containment doors. There's no doors you can get through. You just put your hand on there and you get through it. Containment doors are biometrically controlled barriers installed in the subzones. Operations, logistics, mission infrastructure. Biometric control panel is initialized for all operators and personnel. Product of partnership between React Engineering and DARPA, made of reinforced liquid crystal synthetic fiber panels, destructible but highly resistant to projectiles and impact. Sledge, I've had a go. They're tougher than they look. They are. I've also had a go, and yeah, you can't really shoot them out very easily. Useful for tactical navigation of environments overrun with Chimera if located in an opportune area, will hinder pursuit and detection by arcane variants, tactics and incursion. Enhanced strength offers considerable resistance to arcane movement, more durable than portable fortifications, barricading and reinforcement. Specimen. Okay, this is cool. That's that mission where you have to try and get him to come, yeah. The operator is required to capture a live alpha-rated specimen by delivering it to a react trap. Activating the switch will arm the trap. Once the specimen is within the trap, react foam is deployed. This will bind the specimen and prepare it for extraction. The capture of a live specimen is a high-risk procedure to both the operators and staff aboard the Pioneer. Specimen protocols must be strictly followed at all times in adherence with React procedural guidelines sections R110 to R350. Once obtained specimens are contained within Pioneer's BSL 6 plus rated lab bay. Insert is F to L, only those with clearance 10 are permitted within these sectors. Specimen protocol is an essential component within the React Science mandate to fully understand the Chimera threat. Extensive research on this complex organism has the potential to contribute to breakthroughs in biomedicine and technology. So that's where we bring, that's the mission where we bring a specimen in to understand a bit more about it. Nest tracking. Yeah, so that's where you don't kill the nest, but instead you plant a tracker within it, and it arms itself. And you gotta get through them. Operators will use a react pistol injector. To insert an auto tracker within dormant nests, effective mapping requires multiple nests to be tracked. Target nest must be dormant. Once nests are alert, they become agitated, making it impossible for the operator to plant an auto tracker. Should any nesting plant of the trackers be destroyed, the operator will lose his tracker. Nest tracking protocol allows React scientists to monitor parasites ever evolving ecosystem and collect data on the network of nests within the ecosystem. Auto trackers provide valuable intel on locations, ecosystem, and the incubation conditions of the Chimera nest. Preliminary data indicates that these nests provide a deeper function than simple arcane germination sites. Each nest contains high concentrations of neurons, glial cells, neural stem cells, and proteins. React research hypotheses suggested that nests are acting as neural nodes. Each nest provides functional connectivity from node to node to augment communication among the different variants. Decontamination. I'm trying to remember which one this one is. Oh yeah, that's where you gotta take down tender nests or kill tender nests thing. Exercise extreme caution. Increased contamination of biome is caused by malignant neoplasm connected to multiple aberrant nests. That's right. Destruction of neoplasm is necessary to decrease toxicity levels. Malignant neoplasm is closed and generates a toxic cloud, while aberrant nests are viable. Follow step procedure. Priority class level beta. Apologies. Just can't find where I was. Operators initiate destruction several nearby aberrant nests. Destruction in one nest will awaken other aberrant nests. It's imperative the operators be prepared to act fast and coordinate the destruction of remaining nests. Once all nests are destroyed, the malignant neoplasm will open. Generation of toxic cloud will cease. Using the React blade, the operators will obtain a sample from the neoplasms. React molecular scientists suggest the aberrant nest is a composite of defective archaean variants. Tests and tissue samples indicate that damaged DNA threads may occur during the incubation process, resulting in malformations. Interesting. Sabotage. Oh yeah, this is quite a good fun one actually. The operators will locate arch spines grown within the subzones, plant explosives, and defend the charges until detonated. Charges will be placed on each arch spine. Take special precautions as this will trigger a defensive emission of sprawl. Once all charges are placed inactive, they will be detected by arcane variants. Be prepared for an aggressive reaction. Should any one charge be disabled, the detonation will fail. Studies on globular fusion proteins taken from arch spine carapace have detected extinct ancestral protein status unidentified. These may be the source of the arch spine's additional resilience. React's explosives compound has proven effective against this protection. The purpose and primary function of arch spines remains unclear. More data is required. Suggest further study nutrient and chimera chemical signature. Shut down. I'm sure I can't recognise this one, to be fair. I don't know if I've done this one yet. Operator required to retrieve React canisters stored in extraction pods as per the directive of Tactical Operations Department. React canisters are volatile and may explode if struck. Operators will then insert React canisters within the root system of Chimera nutrient nodes. Protocol is required to control nest propagation within the biome. Nest will continue to emerge if the nutrient node is not destroyed. Each canister contains a chemical compound based on React foam. Result: neutralization of parasite replication. Emergence of nutrient nodes within the Chimera biome is unpredictable. They appear to be a direct energy source for Chimera nests. React's biolab suggests the process is driven by bioluminescence and photosynthesis. IQ is slightly concerns many other factors we have yet to determine. Anecdotal reports of nutrient nodes and arch spines appearing fully formed and supported by React's hyperspectral sensor data excerpted from civilian eyewitness account, and these glowing spines just erupted out of nowhere. Outbreak capsule plus chaos theory plus quantum entanglement plus photosynthetic quantum coherence, awaiting data from React quantum labs for further insight. Hunt. The operator will eliminate alpha-rated archaean variants as per the directive of React's Tactical Operations Department. Observational studies show that specific variants of lesser archaeans issue a distress call when attacked. Alerts an alpha-rated variant that will appear when the lesser variants have been eliminated. This alpha is highly aggressive. Exercise caution. The distress signal has auditory and chemical components, pheromonal, probably triggered in both the lesser and alpha variants when defensive genes activate. React sensors indicate at least some communication signals within the Chimera ecosystem appear to be instantaneous. Several studies within multiple React departments are ongoing. Mira, we're trying to determine cognition levels in Archaeans based on this type of call and response communication signals. Complex methods of communication may be harnessed in quantum entanglement, cross-reference, singularity, chimera, quantum abilities. Research analysis reports can be accessed with code clearance issued by departmental directors. There's quite a lot, I think, pointing towards quite a bug-like evolution of this species. In that they have the hive mind sort of communication, the pheromonal qualities, probably some other things that I'm not thinking of right now as well, but triangulation, another one that I don't think I've done yet. React incursions directly threatened by persistent tremors within the subzones in order to protect React's sensitive equipment and its ability to effectively contain the parasite. The protocol is a primary directive class level alpha. React Geophysical has previously deployed sensors and subsurface probes at specific locations in the environment. Seismic modeling has made it possible to determine the approximate epicenter of tremor events within a given window of time. Mirror with help from Index. Operators must locate multiple seismic stations within the Chimera biome to initiate the sensors. This action must be done in specific sequence and within a limited time frame. Completing the triangulation protocol successfully will interrupt the tremors. Substrate-borne vibration signals indicate active movement of the parasite within the Chimera's root system. The parasite appears to have the ability to withstand an enormous amount of pressure, with depths near in the Earth's mantle. However, the activation of React probes will temporarily interrupt its movements. Assessing the effect of unpredictable subterranean Chimera activity coincides with seismic activity across the planet may indicate that the parasite is spread below ground. Extent unknown, but estimation is significant. Parasite depth plus tolerance of maximum atmospheric pressure plus deep earth hydrocarbon deposits. Serial scan. Yeah, I've done this one. The operators will interact with a React catalyst emitter installed by React scientists within the subzone, developed by React's quantum photonics lab. Catalyst emitters are installed to monitor and simulate the unusual visual and sound anomalies within the subzones. Once activated, the operators must hold their position while the emitter is in service. The process will require a number of zones to be scanned in succession. In order to complete the operation, the operator must wait for the procedure to finish for each area. The ultrasonic frequency of the scanners will alert Arcane variants. Be prepared. Various studies suggest visual anomalies may be manifestations of spatial memory patterns encoded within Chimera cells. Stimulation within a specific frequency range using the catalyst emitter will trigger manifestation of memory fragments. The mechanism behind this is still unknown. Speculating on nature of memory fragments, research suggests that these may be complex quantum events from within the Chimera network, probably unknown. Parasites exhibit other quantum properties, singularity. Interesting. Biopsy I've done. The operator is required to obtain samples from alpha-rated arcane variants utilizing the React blade. Due to the unique morphology of the Chimera arcane variants, takedown measures can only be conducted if the target is incapacitated or unaware. Operators may utilize React tech at their discretion in order to deny the target of any sensory input, such as smoke grenades. Biopsy is essential, contributes to the ongoing genetic research of the parasite in various experiments within multiple branches. Rebiopsy status ongoing. Exhibit a report from React Anthropology. Ongoing investigations into the humanoid form of variants has determined this morphology exists due to the parasite's symbiotic relationship with human DNA derived from the original Outbreak event. Index. Form of arcane variants may draw on various unknown genotypes, cross-reference arcanes. Exhibit a report from React Advanced Medicine, a correlation with the alpha-synuclein protein that shows promising developments in Parkinson's disease research. Scientist Lyra Finker-Melnikova has been brought aboard to consult in this study. Finker, very promising results here. We may see breakthrough soon. Rescue. Oh yeah, this is when there's just a random guy who's not like one of your operators, but someone's missing in action basically. Classified top priority level alpha. Operators must locate a field researcher within the Chimera biome, ensuring safe delivery to the extraction zone. The asset will be safely stowed within the React extraction pod to enable exfiltration procedures. Operators should note that while all React staff are tested on incursion safety guidelines, they are not tactical personnel and therefore are vulnerable to the harsh conditions and unable to defend against arcane aggression. React scientists with clearance level 7 to 10 are granted access to subzones to conduct research within the airlock laboratories during low Chimera activity cycle. Regular deployment of field researchers is vital to all react branches, contributes to understanding of the Chimera parasite and ecosystem, development of incursion technology, not limited to biology and geology teams. Mira will benefit from these studies. Scientists and researchers are equipped with a modified low-density react foam dispersal system, offers only short-term protection against arcane variants during high activity cycle. Operators must reach asset before foam wears off. All staff are expected to adhere to react safety guidelines. No one left behind is the MIA mission, right? Operators will immediately attend to... Oh no, that's that one. What's this one? Immediately attend to any incapacitated squad mate and safely deliver them to the nearest reactor extraction pod. Operators at first pursue their own safety, then prioritize protocol over current objectives. React foam will deploy and protect the KO operator from infection and any additional danger. Squad mates must be extracted first before any standard operator leaves the zone at risk an MIA incident, as outlined in React Incursion Guidelines Section 812. And then we have MIA Rescue, which is the tree one, which is quite complicated compared to the others. Bit harder without a team as well. MIA Rescue Protocol is activated if an operator fails to exfiltrate the Chimera biome during an incursion, safe measure / react foam. MIA Rescue requires that the operators locate a Chimera arcane tree to free the trapped operator and ensure their safe return to the extraction pod. During the incubation process, Chimera arcane tree roosts will actively work to pierce the operator's react foam protective shell. Use caution when targeting the anchor points of the tree's root system and when not targeting the tendrils. Interference will trigger a constriction response, tug of war, and any destruction will only be temporary. Once the downed operator is free, they must be immediately transported to an extraction pod. Once safely aboard the Pioneer, a React medical team will attend to the downed operator. All returning operators will be designated recovery status and assigned to the recovery medbay. Here they'll be monitored by a full medical team, including psychological support, at all times until deemed fit for action. Speculating on role of Chimera arcane tree in incubation. Possibility of energy / nutrient absorption unknown. Insert Mira. Maybe it's DNA related. Could it be searching out genetic material to recombine with its own? Paleobotanical investigation has determined the tree's unique flowering shares DNA with prehistoric genus Strychnos, dated 30 million years ago. Oh shit. Strychnine. Right, okay. Dates it then, doesn't it? Really dates it. And then these will be, yeah, like when we unlock Maelstrom Protocol and stuff. But it's nice to know what the reason is behind doing some of these missions and what we're trying to achieve with that. So, just a couple to read here as well. So in the Chimera system, we have something called nests, which look like that. Appear as large nodules common within infested zones, formed when Sprawl enters a phase of less aggressive proliferation. They are especially fertile areas of differentiated Sprawl that can germinate several arcane variants when alerted. We have no idea on the mechanism behind this. Just spawn them. Spit them out. Radiosynthesis of arcanes must demand considerable energy and biomatter reserves, likely supplied by the surrounding Sprawl. Thinker, we need to study those nutrient nodes more closely. Speculating on factors affecting arcane variant determination. Environmental factors such as thermosensitivity, photosensitivity, and seismosensitivity have been ruled out. Further data required. Insert doc. There must be some mechanism that regulates which Archie will hatch. This one, the variant determination, suggests investigating possibility of bacterial memory and immunoresponse connection with the variant morphology. There are definite signs that this is the case, similar to known organisms but on a huge scale. Destroy nests before they are alerted. This will limit the germination of motile archaean forms. Blinding spore carriers. Yeah, these spores are interesting and they can attach to these guys. This Chimera mutation manifests as bulbous growths on various motile archaeans. The growths have been identified as blinding spores. Hibana, they look even more strange covered with those things. The growths exhibit similar behavior to static blinding spores and do not inhibit carrier abilities. Ongoing biomechanical trait analyses of archaean. Blinding spores do not detonate while attached to archaeans. They will transfer host if approached and subsequently detonate and release a cloud of noxious gas. Archaeans have been observed emerging from nests with spores attached, suggest an adapted mutation or a chance occurrence, i.e. spores attached to passing archaean. Speculating on mutation evolution, maybe an enhanced active propagation mechanism for the Chimera organism. Arcane mobility allows for faster spread of spores, requires further study. Mirror, that's the likely scenario we'll need to determine what else these blinding spores are for. Approaching carrier arcanes will trigger the spore's proximity sensors, causing it to throw out tendrils of sprawl and attach itself to the operator, engage from a distance. And then we have sprawl overflow, which is never fun. All arcane variants in the biome are partially composed of the specialized sprawl bacterium. Rate of proliferation of these cells is extremely high, resulting in formation of sprawl trails left behind moving archaeans. Terrestrial gastropod mucus. Ella. Slug slime. I did not need that visual in my mind index. Environmental conditions. Temperature, atmospheric composition do not seem to affect growth rate. Interesting. Theorizing on increased sprawl discharge, adaptation is most likely an enhanced propagation mechanism, allows the chimera parasite to spread more easily in environments that may be hostile. Specialized sprawl cells under observation do not exhibit the same growth rate, suggests a systemic relationship between cells and an arcane variant, requiring catalysts to stimulate enhanced cell reproduction. Mira, where do these cells get the energy to replicate at this rate if they don't produce it themselves? I'm stuck on that one, to be fair. Expect increased sprawl coverage in the environment, plan for reduced operating mobility and increased arcane mobility. Cool. And chimera threats, we can learn about archaeans. These are all the different types of archaeans that we may have come across. I don't think we've come across all of these guys yet. I think that's a grunt. These are but what were they? Blasters and blows. Some elites, one of these, as far as I know. Archaeans are bloat and breach are those. Archaeans are complex organisms found within chimera biomes. Operators have encountered many different variants. They appear to be composed of chimera cells, but exact composition is unknown. Ate the Luca. I shot it to hell and it all just melted into a puddle of that gunk. Several arcane variants are partially protected by carapace, highly resistant to damage, typically shielding a particularly vulnerable area, which is their weak point. Many variants are capable of alerting other nearby archaeans. Auditory component confirmed. Pheromonal or chemical component requires more data. Howl and tactical implications. Theorizing on neutralization and subsequent dissolution, samples of remains indicate undifferentiated sprawl colonies, possibly a secondary propagation mechanism. Thinker, that seems likely or set of study. Expand on tactical implications of archaean howl, if possible, engage and neutralize before they can alert other nearby archaeans. Archaeans can be neutralized by inflicting massive damage. An archaean will fragment into its component molecules, obliterate. If weak point is damaged, net result limit propagation, no sprawl puddle. So if you get it in its weak point, so for example if you headshot a grunt, or you get the these guys, breaches and what are they called again? Breaches and the bloaters in the back, so if you get the elites in there, blue bits, then they won't obliterate into a puddle of sprawl, which is useful. So arcanes are all these types, and one type that we can learn about right now is the grunt, which is this guy. Exit from civilian eyewitness account, then it ran after him like fast, stabbed him with those armor spikes, and it was over. He was dead. I just got out there. This dude like that is silence. It looks like something from Doctor Who. The grunt engages combat with two hardened upper limbs. Exact composition is unknown. Suspect carapace material, projectile combat mechanism non-existent. So probably if you shoot his arms, it won't do much. But his head is the weak point. Headshot should get him. Assessing biomechanical gate analysis implies muscular or analogous system. Many may approximate arthropods, hardened sprawl shell activated by a neuronal network connected to clusters, agglomerated at weak points, joints. Requires more data. Insert doc. Efficiency of movement does not seem to be affected by damage to limbs. Yeah. Nature of grunt's sensory apparatus is unknown. Possibly located in the head area. Query cephalic. Observational study confirms weak point probability high. Avoid alerting grunts. Surprise and ambush tactics are recommended to prevent alarm response. Archaean howl, which sets off nests and shit. Damage to cephalic area is most efficient. Query obliteration. So we can learn about these other guys another time. Which one's a spike, or is that him? Alright, well that's everything that we can read for now. For definite. So the last thing to check is the milestones.
With each incursion, our presence upsets there, and the parasite is changing the look of the city, literally. Still, I remain confident that we can make sense of all of it amidst the chaos.
So the last milestone we locked was this one, milestone 4, where we got another React token to get a bit of tech. We locked San Francisco as a map, and we got a new entry in the Codex. We got Saved by the Bay. Maria's port on San Francisco was in. Continued with success and operates collect live data. So then we unlocked milestone 5.
With each incursion, our presence upsets their environment. Establishing a powerful foothold is critical to secure objectives, no matter how hard they push back.
So this is the backbone. Here comes the cavalry as Rook, Jaeger and IQ come aboard. They reinforce any defensive position, providing a strong foundation in the field. So for that we get the chalk uniform that we've had a look at, which is okay. The backbone, whatever that is, I need to look into that. And 5 new entries in the Codex, which we've read about. And then we unlock milestone 6.
We're learning so much from incursions about how our gear performs in hot zones. That's helped us design a few things that will be useful.
So for that we get another React token, we have a chalk headgear, and tech tier 2. New advances. Our tech continues to evolve, operators been providing invaluable first-hand intel that lead to further improvements. So if we have a look at tech, we've got this tier of tech now. And do we have it? No, we don't have a token because I bought the ammo satchel. But we also have the claymore now, the stun grenade and the glue grenade. The ammo satchel, by the way, it deploys you with 50% more ammunition. Although I'm not sure it's maybe the best to go for. I think one of the grenades was maybe better. Claymores will be used at only specific times. Stuns might be nice. Might get stuns next, I think. Or glue grenades if we're in a bit of a sticky situation. I get it. So that's cool. So what was that about?
With each incursion, our presence upsets their environment. Establishing a powerful foothold is critical to secure objectives, no matter how hard they push back.
It's not like a weapon skin or anything, is it? So I don't really know. Looks like it should be like a charm or something, right?
We're learning so much from incursions about how with each incursion, our presence upsets their environment. Establishing a powerful foothold is critical to secure objectives. With each incursion, our presence upsets their environment. Establishing a powerful foothold is critical to secure objectives, no matter how hard they push back.
I don't know what that is, actually. Not sure. Let's see if I can find out. It's the message. can't work out where the fuck it. I really don't know what that's referring to, unfortunately. So, yeah, not sure. Not sure. Alright. Anyway, let's move on. The next thing is to read this stuff. So we got through these first missions in New York City, and then these ones. So for resource tagging, which was to ping supply cases, the results was a status report on rescue. Reactor field team came through again. Samples from the Statue of Liberty are safely on board the Pioneer. More confirmation that everyone is an essential part of this team. This was a good day. Very nice. Then, in killing basics, we do primary practice first. Get kills with your primary weapon. The logbook says tactical NY203. Archies. As in, okay, don't like to be killed. Go figure. That said, it seems they have more than a few defensive tricks. I think the most unnerving is that howl. Is that a call for help or a wail of pain? Interesting. I should mention that we got 2 new entries and 3500 XP for that one. And then I'll go through what's this one in a minute. Kills your secondary weapon. Personal MY098. Operators did a good job on kills. They're dying and we're not, so that's something to celebrate. It's interesting that some of our methods of killing them seem to cause the Archies to leave some sprawl residue, but some don't, as we know. And then warm-up was to get 15 kills or assist in a single incursion. To Eliza and Elena, let's talk about the sprawl. I'm watching the incursion recordings and the way it moves. This is going to sound crazy, but it's like it knows where it's going. Have a look before you tell me I'm nuts. Who's that then? Thermites written that, is it? Because these are like Mira's missions. These are Ash's missions. That's Thermite. We go to Mira's again, and yeah. Anyway. Here we got 5,000 XP for all of them. We got the dice charm, which I quite like. I'm gonna put on some weapons. We've got Smog Cloud skin, which I don't really like. Again. For grunt management, we had to ping and unload grunt. Jordan, you mentioned the Arcane's reactions, and that got me thinking about individual intelligence. We need to study grunt behaviour up close, since we think they're talking to one another. What are they saying? Aim for the head was to kill grunts with their weak points, of course. Spores and fungi. Liza, your mushroom hunch came back with some interesting results. Mycelium filaments found on fungi behave like our brain's neural network. I went on indexing the biochem lab to see if Chimera works this way too. Okay, so there's an interesting theory away from the insect theory into be more like a mushroom fungi sort of theory. And then base samples was to kill or assist grunts. Tactical MY387 Ash mission to test intelligence in chimpanzees is done with experiments and problem solving and tool use, so we need to compare the grunts in a similar way. We need to capture a specimen, index results, run some tests. Alright. So we got 6,000 XP for each of them with a new entry, and then the targeted charm, which I don't remember seeing. Oh yeah, of course. That's the targeted charm that we got for that. So the next one is core performance. We need to complete objectives 0 out of 3. A great deal of preparation goes into objectives. Make sure to look at the objectives listed in the incursion brief to prepare yourself accordingly. So that should be done in one incursion. Intel target 1 is to earn 11,000 XP. Completing your incursion objectives is the best way to gather intel. This valuable intel enables React to learn more on the parasite, its presence and effect on the regions. And exploration, safely extract from the second subzone or later. Each time you go deeper into a hot zone, it puts you up against stronger parasite activity, but this means opportunities to gather better intel. So, these two should be done in the first one, and I'm not sure how much XP I'll get, so we'll find out. Yeah, we can just jump into one now. After a short second. Alright, that was a lot of reading and lore gathering. Let's jump into an incursion and get a few more objectives and challenges completed. We're sticking with the level 1 for now as I'm playing solo. Gets more XP, but okay, this isn't the easiest to do solo, but we'll go for it. I'm glad that decontamination is first and not last. So yeah, it's quite nice that rescues last as well. Alright, I want to keep leveling up the dock for
I'll
now.
keep my friends safe.
I want to try out the MP5.
Abnormal nest. Another mutagen strain. Locate the nest.
Oh yeah, this is ideal. Oh, it feels so much nicer with the MP5. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Reloading.
Or was that like a... Was that a fucked up one that's not used anymore? Sure.
Reloading.
If you have a recon device, it can help you locate the objective.
But I don't. So that's shadow. I will find the objective, don't you worry.
locate those aberrant nests. Then get a sample of the malignant neoplasm right from the source.
I'm reloading.
We've learned from the Reaper shit that as soon as we do one, let's show. Where are the nests at?
Get more aberrant nests out of the way to trigger the neoplasm.
Because they're just small guys, right? But I can't find.
Reloading.
All nests are gone. Get a sample.
Oh, is that it? Fair play.
The parasite keeps changing. We have to keep up with the research too.
Yeah, man. Right, the real airlock's over here.
Stick to what works and improvise where you must. Keep moving forward.
Living here using my dogs, so there's no point restoring my leaves.
Airlock sequence. Subzone transition in effect.
Get to catalyst emitter. You will collect data on parasite energy phenomena as they react to the catalyst.
Sorry, what am I doing? Oh yeah, the serious scan one. Okay. I would like to do some more takedowns and stuff, I think that's pretty cool, but just see what it is.
I'm reloading.
What is happening in the room? I've not understood that yet. The fact, is that a bioluminescent thing, or is that like a...
Activate the emitter. Your transceiver will send data to the Pioneer.
I don't know. Oh, shit. Oh, wow. Weak point. That was so it's fine.
Reloading.
What is this?
Get to the first scan zone.
Scanning. Initiating data transfer.
Archeans are just a little upset.
Huh. It might have gone slightly.
Data transfer complete.
Head to the next scanning zone.
Scanning. Initiating data transfer.
Hostiles inbound.
Hold on, 40 with me.
I'm reloading.
Oh shit, I need ammo.
Data transfer complete.
Get data at the next scanning zone.
I am in desperate need of ammunition.
Initiating data transfer.
Archie suddenly wants to show up.
Oh, that just happened.
I feel much better.
Oh god.
Impact grenade.
Data transfer complete.
Not bad when all those Achaeans were rushing at you like crazy.
Bye.
Reloading.
Some sewers have got a bit of a carapace. Is that ammunition? Oh shit, it's meant to be. Fuck. Great. I just need ammunition. Oh my god, I'm about to fully run out. This is not good. Alright.
You're adapting well to the circumstances. Keep that momentum.
Shit. See shit oh.
Nothing left for us here. Head to the next subzone.
Target practice. Right. We got tech, medkit, and ammo. Woo. Myself a little boost.
Airlock sequence.
better.
Subzone transition in effect.
We got an SOS from this subzone.
So maybe equipping
They
that
secured
new
key
ammo
data
thing,
and can't get out.
Quite useful
Exfil our
for
React
something like the
personnel.
MP5. You're not just gonna run out of ammo, I'm gonna show you. Okay. So this is the rescue one.
I'm reloading.
Oh shit, what?
I am good to go.
Yeah, sound like it, bro. When I'm playing with a teammate, he hits them off me. I don't know. I'll do that one by myself. Right, anyways. I should realise what that was. So close.
handle our personnel.
Saving you, bro.
Reloading.
Don't worry, I'm here. Don't worry, buddy.
With me, please.
Bring the asset to the extraction pod. Exfil the package. Use the extraction pod.
Reloading.
You just saved a fellow React member. They'll remember this. I can't tell if you brought your A game, or this is too easy for you.
First one, and the second one. Doc's just a fucking legend, that's why. Oh, okay. 11th. Wait. 11,000 XP, I think we needed. Okay, done. Nice. Quick look at statistics. 106 kills. Finally, got a decent amount of kills. Fane will be happy. Over half were headshots at weak point kills. Because nests, I don't know if nests counts. You don't get a lot long to look at your statistics, do you?
Chances for success continue to present themselves.
Alright, Doc got level 4.
Concentration of spores within a
Milestone
control station
7
run by
and
Orpheus,
4
the tech giant. What interests do they have in these events?
Okay, new part to the story. We'll play in a second. Oh, 49 HP. That's beautiful. All our operators are back in. That's beautiful.
Hey there, I'm way up north in icy Alaska. But the cold don't seem to bother the parasite none. It just popped up near Nome. The analysts have all sorts of crazy theories why. Honestly, I'm way out of my depth here. And I think the lab coats are too. Don't exactly pump up my confidence. Damn. I don't need confidence. I don't need heat. The parasite don't mind the cold, and I don't neither.
Hard man Thermite. Alright. Fun little incursion. Bit easy. Might try a bit of a harder one next time. And probably take some ammo with me if I do that. So, what did we do? Well, we completed a checklist. Index analysis NY 006542 Grunt Intelligence. Initiating series of tests on Chimera Arcane Grunt specimen following request from Dr. Elena Maria Alvarez. Behavioral comparative test between Chimera Arcane Grunt and Pan Troglodytes chimpanzee. Neural comparative tests between Chimera undefined spores mycelia fungi. Interesting. Then we had the NXP. Trace bacteria. Extensive tests conducted on the Statue of Liberty samples indicate Chimera bacteria detected. Copper originated in Norway. Detailed comparisons indicate bacteria is not an exact match with samples from the Outbreak event. Okay. Sound aberrations. While infiltrating through subzones, some operators are reporting strange sounds. Sensors verify aberrations occur in mid to low frequency range. Interesting. That was just index. Yes, it gave those objectives. Next is Thermites. He wants to do getting sneaky, so we've got to deploy barricades reinforcements, which don't do very often. That's easy enough to do, just one of those. Use barricades and reinforcements to control the flow of Arcanians in a space and gain the upper hand. Stealth kill enemies with takedowns 3 times. Arcanians can be sensitive to sound. Avoid a head-on assault to prevent them from sounding an alarm. Use stealth. Yeah. Well-prepared. Killer assists killing enemies with a suppressor equipped, which I always do, pretty much every gun. So that's fine. Suppressors dampen weapon sounds, reducing the chance of alertness in enemies, however they inflict less damage to the target. So for these missions we got 7,500 XP for each, as well as a new entry in the codex and a keycard charm. Trying to work out where this is pointed to. Can't. Oh, Alaska. That's why. Because we unlocked Alaska. First, we go to operators and check the thing we unlocked. Called keycard. Looks a bit shit. It's not bad. It's not bad. You can see it, but dice is probably a little bit better. I don't know. I just quite like it. Just quite like it. We got a new tech token, which we'll go into in a minute. Okay, this is good. So we can learn about 2 new things now. Firstly, Thermite, which is log from Alaska.
Hey there.
Sorry. John Trace USA, FPI, Director of Tactics and Planning, Clearance Level React Nightmare Red. Acting head of tactical control for the on-site teams during the first eruption of Chimera in New Mexico, cross-reference Operation Outbreak. Post-action reports reveal excellent tactical leadership qualities, but can seem frustrated at perceived lack of forward momentum. Hibana, he told me once in my head, I've already seen the scenarios play out. All of them. Well, lads. Described as confident but not brash, deals with stress using humour, exert from psychological assessment, can be a practical joker, always ready with a smart ally comment. Action-oriented, likely feels some frustration from not participating in field ops, suggest sessions in SimLab as outlet. Thermite, I'm up for it for something, anything. Mirror, I'll pencil you in. Trace. Design of incursion protocols indicates understanding of mission mandate. How successful, curved, more aggressive, direct personality traits, grade above average, and so Thermite. Wow, thanks. So index, you are welcome. Humor achieved. That's funny. That's quite a good one. I like that. John Trace, yeah. Yeah, I think that's cool. It's interesting he's not allowed to compete to do the field ops as well, but he's obviously got a pretty important part in the thing. Operation Outbreak. Very interesting as well. Oh, we've seen this. This is the stuff we've seen. Watch this again.
It's our job to be ready for anything. But something so strange, so unthinkable. How can we be ready for that? And it could be just the tip of the iceberg. And the parasite isn't alone.
Classic material star, alright?
We're in uncharted territory now, facing something we know almost nothing about. Something that could destroy every living thing on the planet. Literally. React's not gonna let that happen. But to stop it, we have to understand it first. Knowledge is power. We're going to learn everything we can about the parasite. It's got a weakness somewhere. Let's get to work.
Yeah, so as we're learning about it, it's popping up in different places, such as San Francisco and then Alaska, and each time we're containing it, and then, you know, doing some more research in different places. So how does the cold affect it? Well, from what we learned so far, temperature doesn't seem to affect, at least the spread of the sprawl. Doesn't really say it doesn't have any limiting environmental factors, which is interesting. We'll see what Alaska might produce out there, but we're far off from doing Alaska yet. So we have this file on Operation Outbreak, which is the first before the game appeared in Siege. New Mexico, an unidentified Russian Soyuz capsule crashed and triggered an epidemic. Ground Zero was a city of truth or consequences. Patient Zero, identified as Brooks Boyd. River HQ launched Operation Outbreak. Mandate: collect data and contain the deadly disease. Command given to Eliza Ash Cohen. Efforts also led by operators Thermites, Doc, Tachanka. Operators faced unexpected resistance from aggressive humanoid creatures, identified as civilians, severely mutated from exposure to unknown organism, designated the Chimera parasite. Orders were to recover the contaminated orbital module from the Brooks property and the eradication of the organism from T or C. Strategically placed nanothermite charges were used to destroy the parasite. Truth of consequences remains under total quarantine. Further analysis implies the Soyuz capsule was part of a cancelled N1F L3M crewed lunar program circa 1974. Sealed records inaccessible. Mission status presumed lost. IQ, a secret moon landing, and it came back after all these years. Removal of module from Chimera structure corresponded with worldwide power fluctuation, confirmed by NASA, NIST, cause undetermined. Mira, it affected satellites. What could cause something like that? Post-operational reports indicate eruption of aberrations of Brooks property and dam facility module storage. The Chimera organism has re-emerged. That's very interesting. I would like to learn more about Operation Outbreak and how it first came about. This Soyuz capsule, what the fuck was on it? But you know, obviously it got took while it was heading to the moon, unless the Russians have some part in this, but got took while it was to the moon, and then this parasite infected it. Somehow it came back to Earth, which I don't know how it managed to get the capsule back in Earth without it burning up. They must have had some sort of use of its thrusters to slow it down significantly. But yeah, very interesting. So we hit Milestone 7. Right.
Intel indicates a concentration of spores within a control station run by Orpheus, the tech giant. What interests do they have in these events?
So maybe some new part of the story, this Orpheus company. The Last Frontier. Alaska has a full-on infestation. Thermite is on site to oversee the operation. With the containment phase complete, we can deploy a squad to collect intel. So it's pretty cool. That means that's why Alaska's open. Thermite's been doing some research into it. We get a React token for our tech. We get Alaska unlocked. We get threat level severe unlocked, which means we can now do the harder difficulties, and we get a new entry in the codex, which we've read. So in tech, like I said, I think I'm going to buy the flashes next, and stun grenades. And as you can see here, we unlock Tree of the Consequences soon as well, which is ground zero, so we're not going to investigate there yet, but we probably find some pretty interesting stuff there, I'd suggest. You know, that's where it first appeared in the world, in New Mexico, so yeah, interesting. Very interesting. But for that, I know we did a lot of reading and only one incursion. For that, oh dear. L. Thank you, Aussie Antics Dad. You know when you say words here much and it doesn't make any sense anymore. Thanks for tuning in.